you don't want someone who is on 17th floor to come to 16. You want him to move to 18. The person at the basement, they are already down. You can't push them any further. You want them to come to first floor or ground floor. So if you have someone who is at the basement, pushing them, they are really down. They can't go any further. If they are in basement 4, you need to nurture them to come to basement 3, 2, 1, and they'll go up.
CTA with Ken, video 9.
The conversation continues. I'm sad because I had him say 2020. Normally when it's 2020, I feel like the plane now is beginning to descend. But the conversation is still strong. I want to ask you about the people. You know, I've been talking to you as the leader, but I want to find out about the people who've led you. Of course, I'm going to ask about the famous ones, the ones everybody knows, but I'm sure there are even others who you can say have had a positive impact on your life. First, I want to start with Dr. Chris Kirubi.
Yeah, so that's quite far ahead of me, but we had interactions because of real estate and Vipingo, and his way of entrepreneurship, and he sat on the board. So we had a number of interactions and guidance on what to do, how to invest. But that entrepreneurial seed or thought and the branding and to even go international and get some qualifications or just an emulation of him. And it would of course come every day. When guys are sat in the office, everyone who worked there would know what is new.
That's what you'd ask you.
Yeah, everyone, what is new? What are you doing? And then you'd also, what else? You used to ask a number of questions and you needed to know, to have some sort of answers to
You can't just be quiet.
No, you can't be quiet, and you are given an opportunity to speak and an opportunity to articulate what you can do.
Wow.
Yeah.
You just walk into on a random day and ask you, what is new?
Yeah, you have to have something. That's what I remember.
I mean, you remember it from the perspective of even you had to talk. You
have to talk. But even when I was running Vipingo as the MD, I used to give him updates.
You know, I went to his house, and this was after he had come back from the US when I did the interview with Pius. So, I mean, it's Chris Kirubi. We're doing the interview at 9. We arrive an hour early. We're not about to
to mess
up this. But then we sat down while he offered us. He sent somebody to offer us tea. But this was what was blowing my mind. He was on the phone. I'll never forget, he was asking to be read the report that was going to be printed in the newspaper from Hako Industry. The thank you message for December.
Yeah.
And I found that incredible. And I had him say, no, for that one, change it to this. I was like, how hands-on are you? And the reason why I'm asking you this is, what is the balance between micromanagement and involvement? Because you're telling me he was involved even asking you about Vipingo.
There is no micromanagement. You're sharing the big picture and what is being done and where the business is going. There's what operational things, those are your own.
Yeah.
And now you're taught how to think. How to think like a business person, how to think like an investor.
Don't start telling him the workers haven't come to work.
No, those are your personal problems.
He wants to know about, I am thinking of adding a new block because the demand is high.
Yes, so you say, okay, from what we can see, we can do another block. This is the return. This is how we plan to do it. And then you're given a yes or no, why you're doing it, how it can be made better.
Wow.
How you can provide customers with value. Yeah.
And how it
will be long term. Yeah. Because some of all these things, these guys have done them before for many years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You also spoke at his memorial.
Yes.
Like that's how much he meant to you.
Yes, if you are there, everyone was, actually it's a small ecosystem, so everyone was able to interact with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, from the outside, he's the myth, the legend. He was a superstar. But also, I was also very impressed by how down to earth he was for a billionaire. Very touchable.
And I think most of them are like that.
Okay, let me ask you then about Moria, because you probably interact with him very often now.
Yes.
How is he?
He
I mean,
is-
I know you can't be like, I hate that guy. It's not like
no, he's granted me this opportunity.
Yeah.
Spotted my talent, granted me the best you can, given me access to the world, and to make a difference. So is like 99%, let me say 95% of what I am is courtesy of the opportunities he's granted. You'd have said no. Maybe it would have been easy to hire a CEO in other projects. You'd have sent someone else in Uganda. You'd have hired someone who has come from Harvard, not to take one there for training.
Yeah.
So by granting those opportunities to me and others who I work with, is created many warriors.
In fact, you're a
Will
mini warrior.
make, and there are many others.
Yeah.
Who will make a difference and create a legacy.
Yeah.
So if you asked a man who was there in Centum from 2000 to 2025,
Yeah.
you can find the impact. So the results can be 1,000 page book written by, there's a chapter for Ken Mbae,
Yes.
but everyone,
Yes.
Raphael, there are many. So that would be like 1,000 page book.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's his leadership style towards you?
Okay, first pushes me to the maximum limit. I think he has more expectations than I can, so pushing you to be the
Yeah.
best, teaching you how to think, and proper thinking, how to think properly, how to package opportunities, how to imagine. You see, every idea, everything that is in this world was an idea in someone's mind. So you have to imagine what it can be. Before it's first, it is.
Bro,
so
you said something so powerful.
Yeah, you must imagine what it can be. You manifest it in your mind. You believe in it, then you start executing. One way or another, the world will converge and help you achieve that vision, whatever it is. Two Rivers was an idea in his head. Vipingo is the one who did the acquisition. It was an idea in his head. Graduate training programs or ideas in his head. So you have to imagine what it can be first in your head and be convinced it can, and then take steps to actualize it. Now, when you conceived this program, you never thought a boy from Nanyuki will sit here.
An MD for,
Yes.
for Nyanyuki.
Yes. And others that great
Actually,
people
to
who
be
have
honest,
sat
even
here.
when I
Yeah.
said 100 leaders,
Yeah.
you're the fourth that I'm doing.
Yeah.
It means that I have to do one every 3 days.
They'll
But
come.
you're here.
Yeah, they'll come.
But you get what I mean?
Yes, and there'll be another one here tomorrow.
Yes,
Yes.
you're here, and for me, I'm like, what? As you're telling me right now, you've got to imagine and believe it.
Yeah.
I actually believe that it will happen, and seeing you, I'm
Yes.
like, okay, you're not lying when what you're telling me. But
Yes.
I like what you said. He has taught you to imagine. So
Yes.
imagining is something that you need to teach yourself to do.
Yes.
Anyone can imagine.
Yeah, everyone has a brain. If you put it into use, you can imagine anything. And then now because you have the brain, you can you can dream. And the imagination is the factory of what the possibilities, what it can be. And then now you start. You convince yourself of that drive, persistency, and you start.
I get it.
Then it will happen. So when we do these things, most of them, the imagination and the drive, if I was able to achieve 5% of what I think, I would be too far.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But that has been taught.
There's something that you said, he pushes you. Again, I think of the young people watching this.
Yeah.
Some of them can think the pushing to be toxic, a toxic environment. That's a word that is thrown out
Yeah.
a lot. And I do agree, some of these things are toxic. But somebody pushing you doesn't mean that everything they're pushing you is toxic. It just means that maybe they've seen their capacity within you and are trying to stretch you. When you say he pushes you, already you sound like you push yourself so much.
Yes, and so like now here is a phone. There is Moria's missed call. There is his WhatsApp. So so he has to, and yeah, you have to. The guy, if you are the top, you don't want someone who is on 17th floor to come to 16. You want him to move to 18. The person at the basement, they are already down. You can't push them any further. You want them to come to first floor or ground floor. So if you have someone who is at the basement, pushing them, they are really down. They can't go any further. If they are in basement 4, you need to nurture them to come to basement 3, 2, 1, and they'll go up. If you're on 19th floor, you cannot allow this person to come to 18th because it's harder to go up. And if they come to 18th, it's easier for them to come to 17 than it is to go to 20th. And if they were to get to 20th, they need to go 3 other levels. So you must sustain the momentum.
And okay.
My own thinking, I don't know if that is
No, and you're thinking, I like it.
Yeah.
My question then is, as I do this leadership series, I'm trying to figure out, is it possible to balance family and leadership? Or does one have to suffer? And is that suffering my lack of understanding of the opportunities that have then been created because of this? Do you get what I'm trying to say? For example, if you become a leader, does that mean now family will not happen? Can you be a leader, MD, and a father?
Yes. First, you're human. Start there. You're first human. The basic component of that humanity is your family, either nucleus or extended. So the foundation of your success is anchored on your family. You have to have a solid family for you to be successful in leadership. Now, you can't come to work when there are austerities at home and be productive. You have to communicate so effectively that the family understands they're also part of the leadership. So part of MD of Centum RE is the extension of my family because 40% of the time, 50% I'm with them. So whatever the influence, I should come to the office refreshed to support the growth. So they are part of the MD's level. So they know when I have to go, they are supporting my role. Maybe that communication with your wife and with your kids, they understand it so that they are concerned. When they pass by and they can see the project is not under construction, they are more concerned than you. Why? What is this? What are you doing?
So communication.
You have to communicate. You have to communicate with that clarity. But I first insist that pay attention to family. If family is okay, your work and leadership will be fine. If family is not okay, your leadership will be wobbly. In a few moments, it will show that there is a problem.
And you have your other family. As much as you've got this nuclear family, you've got your work family.
Yes.
There are people who, I've not been speaking to you. I've been speaking to the people who handle your program, people who are in your marketing, people who, so those are another, because you spend almost as much time with them, sometimes even more than you do with your family. What does that dynamic entail now in this level?
So that's the organization culture, the way we do things at Centum RE. Do your people wake up on Monday and feel this is the worst thing that happened in my life? I don't want to go to that place. Or do they wake up on Monday and they feel like it's a Friday? Because where I'm going, I'm nurtured, my ideas are accepted, I'm pushed to be better than I am, I'm happy to arrive. So you create an environment that people are happy to come to. And you have your set of values, right? You may say, we are allergic to non-performance. If you are not performing, we are allergic to it. It's not something we can allow. And you cannot stay here in peace if you're not doing well. If you're doing very well, we celebrate and we'll support you. So people know up front that we like hard work, dedication, getting things done, having fewer excuses is what is nurtured. Then they will enjoy the environment, and we are human, we work as a team. You may not be the best boss to everyone, but if you're good to 60%, it's okay. The organization will thrive. And I tend to believe maybe that's the environment we've created.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any projects outside of Kenya that you're currently working on? Throughout this whole story, I've only heard you mention Uganda. Are there previously any that have been done, and currently are there any being done, or
No.
in the future are there any you're planning on doing?
Yes, this business is Pan-African. Today we're in Kenya and Uganda, but we can't remain. That's like remaining in primary school. We need to go to high school, so we'll move to other African countries, and we need to move to campus, so we must be in sub-Saharan Africa. So it's a path of growth.
And is that something that you can talk about now, or it's in the pipeline?
It's in the pipeline,
Okay.
But the ambition, and that has been communicated many times, we need to be in everywhere, because the housing challenge opportunity in Nairobi is the same in Dar es Salaam, in Congo,
In Zambia?
in Zambia, it's the same.
Yeah.
So the lessons learned here can be replicated. You just customize them to the local environment.
Yeah.
And you've seen Kenyan businesses have expanded to other markets and done very well. We can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's then land this plane. As we go into 2022, anything that you want to share? 22 all the way until 2025.
Yeah, so now I came back from Vipingo. I was the COO in Centum RE. Then the boss left. Then I was given the opportunity to run the company. But we were to pay. There was a bond, a 3 billion bond that was maturing in 2023. So we needed to have the money. I think part of why my hair has gone away. Thank God I'd been married.
Wait. A Centum?
Yeah.
A Centum RE?
Yes.
You got 3 billion worth of investors' money?
A bond that was raised and listed on Nairobi Securities Exchange. So it needed to be, it had gotten to maturity.